Good afternoon. We're here with day 22 of Prophetic Mastery Moments. I'll just got to get the Instagram stream to start functioning as well, and then we will be off and away. So, Prophetic Mastery Moments, day 22. I'm going to talk to you about physical taste and how taste can prophesy to a spiritual reality. And I think one of the most beautiful examples of this is in the Passover meal. We can see it so clearly in the Passover meal and, of course, communion, which was the reenactment of the Passover meal that where Jesus actually said, "Do this in remembrance of me." So the Passover meal, obviously the lamb, the unleavened bread, the bitter herbs, all of these prophetically spoke of what was to come. The lamb who would take away the sins of the world. The bitter herbs spoke to the bitterness and the harshness of the Israelites' slavery in Egypt, in ancient Egypt. But the Passover meal itself prophesied to a greater reality when the Messiah Jesus would come. Of course, he says at Luke 22:19-20, "This is my body given for you. Do this in remembrance of me. This cup is a new cup in my blood, which is poured out for you." And now, communion, of course, is an ongoing prophecy. Communion speaks to what Jesus did, his sacrifice on the cross, what he is doing, his presence with us now. Isn't that beautiful? His presence with us now. And what is to come, his return. Communion is a prophetic act that has power. It's a declaration to the realities around you. Every time we take communion, we're not just remembering, we're prophesying to the realities around us of who we are and what Jesus has come, what he has achieved, and what he continues to achieve to this day and into the future. We're declaring the reality of who Jesus was, is, and is to come. For whenever you eat this bread, he told us, and drink this cup, you proclaim the Lord's death until he comes. 1 Corinthians 11:26. I think that taste, and I've been exploring all of the different senses: seeing, hearing, tasting, feeling, smelling, and of course, knowing that you know that you know. All of those senses, including our Noah, they all are vehicles through which God can communicate spiritual realities to us. And of course, the trick is to stop. If something is drawn to your attention, you stop and you lean in and you ask God, "Are you trying to say something to me right now?" So I have not necessarily, I have prophesied from what I have been tasting, but it's not a common thing that I have actually stepped into, but I have heard of, Dan O'McCollum and Bethany Hicks tells a testimony of a man who was set free when he discovered that God could actually talk to him through his taste buds. What would happen is that he would have particular tastes and they'd come out of nowhere and he'd suddenly be tasting something and he didn't realize that that taste was a prophetic signal that God was speaking to him about a situation or about a person. So think in terms of it smelt off. It's our fragrance. It tasted bitter, like the bitter herbs in the Passover and the communion meal. In the Passover meal that they used to reenact, they'd take the bitter herbs because it was to remind them of the bitterness of what the slavery was. So again, taste can be a vehicle through which God communicates. It doesn't seem to be as common, but if we are aware of the fact that he might be talking to us through that, then it's a really, really powerful tool through which we can be communicated. If something tastes sweet all of a sudden, we might taste honey. Think of the prophets who ate the scroll and it was sweet in their mouth, but it was bitter to their stomachs. So it tasted sweet. So think in terms of that and be aware of the fact that God can speak to us through that particular sense. And of course, the beautiful thing about it is that he will speak to us through more than one sense when he's wanting to catch our attention. So it's putting all of those together, and then you start going, okay, there's something that he's trying to say to me. There's a spiritual communication that is taking place, a way that God is wanting to communicate. And then we can actually stop and listen and look to see, much like Habakkuk did when he stationed himself upon the ramparts and he looked to see what the Lord would say to him. Or think of Samuel in 1 Samuel 3, when he lay down in the temple of the Lord and said, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." Are you catching those moments when he's trying to catch our attention? Are you catching those burning bush moments, just like Moses as he was going about his day? Those burning bush moments are not necessarily only through sight. They're through hearing and tasting and smelling and feeling and knowing things. When we catch those burning bush moments, an encounter is at hand. He is speaking to us, and what he has to say will always be encouraging, comforting, and strengthening. He's always love. It's always love, because he is love. If we see it in the personhood of Jesus Christ, then that's how God will communicate to us. So I hope that actually is encouraging and helpful. Hi to Ralph and Lola and Betty. It's great to see you. Of course, on Facebook, these lives drop off after a month. If you want to return to them, they're always in YouTube. Subscribe there. As always, like, share, save, do all of those things as well. It helps the algorithms. It helps get the teaching and the training out there. You know, I take time to actually think about, what am I going to communicate? What am I going to say? And then, of course, we've got a free training that's happening next week. I will put, as always, I'll put that training into the chat so you can have a look at it. So, feel free to join us with that training. It is completely free. It's 1 hour for 3 days in a row. Next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for you in America, or next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for us Aussies. And the recordings will be available for free for a week. So that you can, if you miss any of the sessions, you can catch up with them. I'm just trying to have a look at where the sign up is. And here we are. And if you want to have access to those recordings permanently, because I teach very fast, I've got a lot to get through. What you can do is you'll be invited into an upgrade or into a VIP situation. That way you'll get access to the recordings permanently. You are helping us cover costs when you actually subscribe to the VIP event. It is cheaper if you do it before the event starts. Once the event starts, the price does go up. We do warn people about it. So please be aware of that. What is also really exciting is that, by way of saying thank you, that VIP upgrade will also give you access to an extra hour every day for Q&A, for ministry time. My team, your Prophetic Mastery students, will be prophesying over people. If they want a word in VIP, they'll be sitting there and typing up words for you. It can be quite chaotic, but a lot of fun is where you will grow. But that's just by way of saying thank you for helping us cover some of the costs of what we're doing with all of our free events. Anyway, it's worth every cent if you choose to invest. All right, I will wrap it up there. Have a fantastic day. Remember, I'm always happy to stop and prophesy over you if you ask in the chat, and if I have time. All right, so I will finish up now, and we will catch you really soon. And I'll just say a quick hello to people on Instagram. Good to see you, Mike. Great to see you, Alice, Daniel, and Carol. Hey, from Sydney. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. The event, you asked how much is teaching. The free event is free next week. So all the teaching will be in the free event. There'll be activations and prophetic words and things like that in the VIP sessions. But the teaching is free. You'll have access to recordings for free for 7 days. So come along, come along. All right, much love. We'll catch you soon. Bye for now.